If you like cute, you are about to see some absolutely darling images. This is the Holly Jolly paper collection. This is 8x8 papers. There are 64 images. That's great. And I'm going to show you some ways that you can do Christmas and non-Christmas images, cards with these. And here is one right here. Isn't he cute? We're going to be playing with some snow, a couple of ways of doing that, and I've got lots of ideas for you, so please come play with us. Okay, before we get started with the projects, let me show you what these images are. So here are our cute little characters. So each sheet has 4, as you can see, and so here's our teddy bears. This is what I meant. So we've got 2 that are Christmas, and well, I guess we have 3 that are kind of Christmas, and 1 that's not. And here's the elephants. I just love them. And we have our pigs, and reindeer, and our rabbits, giraffe. I suppose you could figure what these out without my telling you. And actually, there's more though, because we also have cows, and we also have these little guys. I think that's all. I think that's it. Okay. And so as I said, and then you get 2 sheets of each. So, okay, so you've got all of that. Then we have these scenes. So let me show you these. So you've gotten, again, you get 2 sheets of each. So we have this moonlit scene. We have this one with the geese flying, snow scenes. We've got the chopped tree. We have this. We have that. And the reason why these are is because so many of the little critters are sitting so that you can place them somewhere there. Okay, we've got the tree trunk. Oh, that's okay. They got mixed up. Okay, so that's fine. We've got the bench. We've got the frozen lake, and we got the gingerbread house, which I think is darling. And we've got another frozen pond, mushrooms, and I think you saw this already. And there, and the moon, and the bench. I've shown you a couple. Anyway, you get 2 of each. So in all, there are 18 designs, and they're 8x8. They are single-sided, as you have seen. So then the idea is, okay, now what can I do with them? And that's always fun to explore. So I'm going to be showing you first this one, the one that I showed you in the beginning. And this little guy begins with the Hunky Dory's tent slimline cards, and I like using this because it really plays very nicely with our elliptical dies. And so what you do is you take this tent card and place the largest elliptical, which is of course this one, and you place it over the fold. So I'm going to turn this over so you can see. And so this is the largest one. You just place it over the edge. Now you want to do that so that the fold is going to be captured within the die, but it's going to go over the die is going to go over the fold. So the fold is going to be still folding. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so you're going to run that through your die cutting machine, and then you're going to take whatever paper you want. And in this case, I'm going to go back here and grab the paper just so that we're all on the same page. And now, initially I had that in the beginning, but it seems to have gone out of whack. And this is this little bench, so it's this one. And that's nice because it gives my little giraffe a place to perch. So that's going to work nicely. So I'm going to place my die, and I'll do that right now, so that it's going to get captured the way it's going to work nicely. So I'll place it, and you can kind of see. So that's my low-tack tape over it. So I'm going to place it like this so that, because I really want to get some of those little baubles up there. And I'm going to center it like so and just run that through my die cutting machine. And then I'm going to glue that onto my card front. And it's going to be overlapping the edge here. And it's going to be a little bit weaker there, but it's really no big deal. Now these are not cardstock, they are paper, but it's going to work just fine, okay? So I'm going to cut that and then glue it in place. And I'm going to put this away because we do not want this traveling anywhere other than that bag. And if you've ever had your cutting dies disappear on you, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And there we go. Okay, so now I want to give my little giraffe. Now, as I pointed out, there are 4 of them. And well, at least I did cut out all of mine. And so let me just share with you what I did. So the thing that's going to make this easiest are any short-bladed scissors. Ours are called, I think, precision scissors, but they have a short blade. So this is, the whole length of this is about 4.5 inches, but the blade itself is really about 2 inches, and that's really the thing that's going to make it work. Now, what's nice about this is that you've got images that are short, especially with the giraffe. And let me just show you what I did. So the first step is to kind of whack this out. Yes, that is a technical term. You may want to make a note of it, because you don't want to be kind of struggling with this whole piece of paper. So you just want to make sure that you've got that. And you just start at the bottom. And the one thing about cutting paper, if this is new for anybody, you just want to hold your scissors in one place and move your paper. And if this is new for anyone, it's going to feel uncomfortable at first, but after a while, it's going to feel very natural. So you're just holding your scissors in one place and you're moving your paper. And that's all. Now, if it gets hung up anywhere, then just trim the paper off. So let's see. When I come up here, maybe to the neck, I'll maybe just cut that off. Let's see. Okay. And I'm not going to do very much of this because this is not very exciting, is it? Okay. And so just cut that off, throw it away. Now, when you get up to something like this, all of that little hairy piece, you can see all I did was just curve it. You don't have to worry about something that's that detailed. Now, I could have gone back and feathered it, just kind of cut into it. I didn't, but you certainly could. And don't make this hard on yourself, because you're going to be attaching this to the front of your card. Your card has stuff going on. It's going to kind of make any errors disappear. And I trust you, no one is grading you on this. It's perfectly good. And so that's just really all there is to it. Now, this is lightweight, but I foam taped this in place. The only thing I made sure where, if it was a more heavyweight paper, I might have just placed fewer pieces of foam tape. Because it was lighter weight, I did put foam tape like under the ears, the little antenna, the little fingers there, under this candle. I just kind of put more foam tape. So I let him sit on this little bench, and I thought that was really sweet. Now, because I made this a Christmas card, I let him hold a candle. Now, if I wanted to make this a non-Christmas one, I could use this little guy. I could still put him on this image of sitting on a park bench, but maybe I wouldn't have added the snow. Of course, I probably wouldn't have used it because it has all of that up there. Maybe I would have used a different image, but it's really, just really so sweet, absolutely charming images and easy to cut out. So don't let cutting scare you, okay? I do have some arthritis in my hands, but it didn't bother me doing this cutting. In fact, it was just really kind of easy to do. So I just encourage you to give it a try. So anyway, now the other thing is that we have 2 ways of doing snow. So I want to share that with you also. And one way is what I did on this card, and it is using the new thing that we found at the trade show, is the snow marker, not maker, but marker. And this is by Marvi Yoshida, and this is a pen, and you do need to shake it up. And let's see, let me pull out, where is this? Okay, let me pull this. So I'm going to use this one. So I'm just going to shake it. Now, the one thing I discovered when I use this is that you want to be generous when you're applying this, because, okay, now this is going to be tricky because I'm doing white on white, aren't I? So we'll get in close. Thank you, Jeanette. So I'm going to push this down. Okay, right along there. And I'll do a little bit down here also. So I'm, like I said, okay, you can see I really globbed it right there. Okay, now I'm going to take the heat gun, and you do need the heat gun, and I'm going to turn it on, and that is going to puff up. Come on, puff up. Let's see. Oh, I know. Come on and puff. There it is. So you can see where I had quite a bit. Can you hear me? It puffs up nicely, but where I had a little bit, there isn't very much happening. So that's what I learned as I did this. So you can see the bottom part is much heavier. So, okay. So you can go back and add to it. Isn't that nice? So I'm going to take my own advice. I'm going to go back and I'm going to add to it. Ooh, well, that's going to do something. And now I don't really want to sit here and play with the heat gun, so I'm just going to do this for a moment longer. Now, I don't have this attached to a card, and a card would stabilize it. When I was doing it on my card kind of warped a little bit, but after it was cooled down, it did flatten out a little bit more, so that was fine. So look at that. Isn't that neat? And you can see that it's all very snowy. So in my text, when I wrote the instructions, I said, wherever you want it to snow, that's where you use the snow marker. Isn't that neat? Okay. So you do need a heat gun. I did not try there we go. Can you see that? How neat is that? Very white, very billowy. Okay. Then also, boy, oh dear. Okay, this is a little warm. Then I added joy, and the joy came from our Dazzles. This is called Christmas Greetings, and it has 5 sheets in it. They're red, green, black, silver, and gold. This is actually green. It's a really dark green with joy. And it's the Christmas version of Tiny Words and Phrases, so there's a huge number. I think it's over 300 words on it. Now inside, and I so loved this image of the gingerbread house that I just used it. Isn't that darling? Now I did use the snow marker on it, but I made it less high than on the front. So it's just a smaller amount. So on the little path going up, on the roof, going up on the chimney and so forth, and I have the Merry Christmas right there. So I just thought it was really cute. Now when you cut this out with the elliptical, you're going to trim it at the top to go over the fold. and just really cute. So it was just charming and easy to do, and darling and charming and all of that. Okay, so that's one way to do snow, and an easy way to do our little giraffe and snow and Christmas. Who would have thought? Okay, my next card is going to go with our reindeer, and our reindeer come as a couple as well as individually. So let me pull this sheet out, and there is our couple, and I just really had to use them. I was thinking of using them on this snowy moon. I just thought with them in front of the moon would be fun, but I couldn't quite make that happen. So instead, I put them in front of the big snowy tree. And this is just a regular card. This is our 5 by 6.5 inch card. And I used our snow flake dazzles. So anyway, first did the covered the card with that piece, and that image is this sheet right here. So you've got a lot of artwork to play with. And I positioned it so that I really wanted the tree to show. So just like that, put glue stick on all 4 edges, position this like so, press down, turned over, and trimmed it to fit, just like that. No big deal. Then I took the reindeer. Now, this has a little bit more detail to trim out. So first thing I did was cut this. So cut that out. And then you'll notice that she's got some little, I don't know that it's really holly, but some little tiny branches. You know, I just chop those off because that is just far more cutting than I'm willing to commit to. Because I'm keeping them together, I did not go into this area to cut, so I just went around just like that. I did go into the antlers. Now, one thing about that is this is going to go onto the card, so I'm not going to worry too much about making that perfect. It's, you know, I did do my best, and I think it looks just fine. You do want to be careful when you put adhesive on the back of these. I used a glue stick. I think it would have been better to use the specialist glue or the Nouveau glue. Just because you don't want to spread this and have anything tear, because again, this paper is lightweight, okay? Went around here, went around his little tail, and but I did not cut into this area, okay, because that's going to go in one piece. Got all that? So glued them down onto this icy area. And then the way I did this, so let me bring this piece, is I use the soft snowfall. Now, I keep mine in a pan or a plastic container, and it looks like this. Now, we got this from Hunky Dory last year, and it is neato stuff. And I should have brought a Post-it. Are there Post-its around here, Jeanette? Do you know? Okay, well, let me see. I'll do something else. Okay. So what I used was, this is the Precision Precision Glue Press. This is not an inexpensive item. It does come with the Nouveau glue, and it does also come with an extra container that is empty, so you can fill it with Cosmic Shimmer, or you can use the Nouveau glue. And what you do is you keep the lid on it, and then when you want to use it, you retract it like this. And what I found is it is slick. So pretend that my reindeer are here, and I'm going to put this where I want it to snow. So I want it to snow over here on my tree, like here. And I want it to snow on these branches right there. So I'm just pretending that I am controlling snowfall. Boy, the power I have at this moment. Okay. Now, I'm going to set this aside. I'll just set it aside for this moment. I'm going to put this right here. And this is exactly what I did. Now, pretend that I have it written on this. And I'm going to scoop this up, and I'm just going to lay it on top of my sheet. I'm going to tap this off, and look what I have. It snowed just like that. Now, don't go like this because you don't want to pack it down. You want to let it dry. And when it dries, it'll go down a little bit just because the glue will pack down a little bit. And when you then put it in your envelope, it will be fine. So that's how you use Hunky Dory's Soft Snowfall. I love it. It can be a little messy, which is why we keep it in a container and keep a Post-it note handy. And Paulette, don't giggle when you're using it. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. It's neat stuff. I really like it. You just have to know what the pros and cons are of it. And you don't have to use the precision glue, but I did find it was really nice. And it is the first time I've used it. I know Debbie uses it all the time. But it was really neato. Now, this has a needle in the cap, and that's what goes into the lid. So if it is tricky for you to squeeze the bottle at all, this is a godsend. It's just really, really nice. So, but it is not inexpensive, but it is worth it if that helps you. Okay, so that's great. So create your snow, make it snow, and then I added snowflakes. And my snowflakes are white and teal. And I used the teal because it really went better with that very kind of different green on my tree. I also failed to get the silver ink pad that I used on the edge of the card. Now you could use the silver ink pad, which I did. It's a very soft silver with, when you're seeing the silver on the edge of the white snowflakes. You could also use the silver foil. So you could use the glue stick, put glue stick down and put the silver foil on top. I kept it a little kind of low grade silver because I wanted my snowflakes to really stand out. So you can do whatever you want, of course, because you know you're going to anyway. So there you go. You see the flash of silver? How fun. Now, the inside of this, okay, remember the reindeer? Okay, well, this little guy, I just felt it really needed to be there. So we're all silver on the front of this card, but on the inside, voila, we are very gold. Now, I'd like doing that. If it drives you crazy, that's fine, go silver. But I took this, now this is just cut out, just straight, and I nested it close to the fold, and then I pulled this. Now, we came out with 3 of these this Christmas. This is new for us. This is our Dazzle. So this gives you 3 very big Merry Christmases. Now, 2 of them have a star. I used the one without the star because it fit better. So we've got this giant Merry Christmas and lots of gold snowflakes. And they're just going right around this little reindeer. And I thought that was fun. And you don't have to cut it out. So that's good too. And I just thought it was a fun way. So you're looking at snow and hugging reindeer in silver snowflakes. And inside, you're inside the house. He's decorating his tree, and he's got gold snowflakes all over. So that seemed fun. So that's my 2 Christmas cards with these characters. Now we're going to go to non-Christmas. So here we go. And I chose 3 little guys for this card. So in this is my first one. So we've got Let's Eat Cake with my little bear in red. Then I've got my rabbit with Making a Wish. And then I've got my elephant with a happy birthday. You like it? I'm really pleased with it. This was the first one I made when I was working with this collection. So what we're going to do is we are going to take 2 cards. And again, I'm working with the 5 by 6.5. So when you get these cards, they are already scored, but they're flat. And you get the envelopes too. So we're going to put glue on the back of the first one and attach it to the front or the inside of the second one, like this. Just make sure you don't go over the score line, okay? Just like that. And so we're just going to have it. Now, the one thing you want to do at this point is make sure that you can close this and close that, okay? If there's any problem, fix it. This is the time to fix it. And the best thing to do is if you can't close this, trim that off a little bit, maybe 1/4 of an inch, that would be fine, okay? So glue here, place it there, make sure you can fold it. If you can't, make an adjustment, okay? Now, I decided, well, let me show you what these guys look like. So here's our bears. So although this little guy has a Santa hat on, you could use this one. I used him because he has a cupcake, and I just thought that was kind of precious. Actually, they're all precious, aren't they? Okay, so I went into the Simply Stripes because it's bright and cheerful. Also, it matched the animals, and it matched this collection of Happy Birthday and balloons. So this has a sheet of black Happy Birthday with all of these sayings, and it also has all of these balloons, all those sheets. So it was a great marriage, if you will. So I decided that to go with red, and actually in the very beginning I was going to go with this. That was my intention. But I found that I really thought that, okay, this would be cute to have this little guy sitting on here, but it might kind of lose the punch of the balloons. So I switched, and when I switched, see, you get the white on the backside with the red stripes, and you get the red with white stripes on the other side, so that you've got the option right at your fingertips. So I took the other side and trimmed it down, glued it to the front of the card, and then took the red sheet, and I wanted 3 balloons because you always want an uneven number. And first I placed those, then I placed the strings because you've got multiple strings. Put them and just overlap them with the area that, that little part where you're pulling the balloon together, and place those. Then I didn't do this, but I put it in the instructions. I would put the words next. That way they can kind of go at the bottom, and then you've got room wherever you want to put your little animal. So that worked well. So balloons, strings, words, and then cut him out and place him wherever you want. If you don't want the cupcake, you can place him, and then the stars are also on this sheet, and so that's what I did. It's so simple when it's already been done first. Okay, so he is my first one. Then I went into my little bunny, and here is the bunny. And I used the bunny, I thought the hot chocolate was fine. You could use this little one. If you did that, I wouldn't do this little sprig that's going on. I just leave him. I also didn't worry about his or her little whiskers or this little puff of smoke that's coming out. Again, it's just too much cutting. So you can do what you want, but I thought that was absolutely charming. So, you know, it's kind of, you have to go through and figure out which one you want to use. I like that. And I decided to use blue because I thought blue was a nice offset to the pink. It would show up nicely. Again, I was going to use the solid blue, which is this one, but I wasn't sure how much that blue balloon would really show up. So I used the other side, same idea, and place that down. Notice that these balloons are different ones than I used there in different configurations, which is exactly what I wanted. I want them to be a little bit different. These strings are a little different, but I did the same process. Balloons first, then strings, then words. Cut out the bunny, put that bunny in place. This one has confetti. This one has stars. And this one has a great big candle. I thought that was, just want to make sure that you know all the little ramifications that are going on. Then the last one, I did stay with the solid. See, on the others, I went to this, but this one I stayed with this. And the elephant is always my favorite, absolutely always my favorite. I had a stuffed elephant when I was a little girl, which I loved. Most kids have stuffed teddy bears. I had a stuffed elephant. I loved the roly-poly elephant storybook. And I chose this one because it has the presents. And again, you know, decide how much cutting you want to do. I certainly wasn't going to do that little ribbon coming down. I didn't do the little tuft of hair up there, although you could have drawn that on. Those of you who are into that, that's great. So just do whatever you want. No one will know if you add a little bit or cut off a little bit. But that one's really Christmas. That one certainly is winter. That one is just charming for any time. But I went with that one because I thought it was more birthday. And same thing, same process, cut this, glue it in place. The difference was I put the balloons, put the ribbons. This time I added bows. They're on the same sheet. I added birthday, then the elephant, then happy, because happy had to, in order to fit, it had to go on top. Then I added stars, confetti, and added, and the little elephant really has to fit in there. So he's going to go on top of everything. And so the things that are extraneous, like the stars or the confetti, or the stars and confetti, they're going to go on last because they can just go randomly anywhere. So that was fun. Okay, so that's my third one. And then we're going to go into number 4. And number 4 is going to be the little pig. There you go. Just sweet. And with this, I decided to use the tuxedo box. Now, with this, my background, my tuxedo box, is going to be solid. So I went into Christmas Cardinals because it has red, and I just thought to go with my little piggy that red would play well with my little pink piggy. Okay, so that's what I used, and here is my project. So there you are. Okay, and this is, so it's going to stand up like so, and there it is. I thought the doily was really kind of perfect for it. The mushrooms are on one of the papers, this one, and I thought that would be a nice little decoration for down here. And again, I'm trying to make a non-Christmas card. Now you can make this a Christmas card, certainly you can, but I decided to make this kind of a non-Christmas card. And I also decided to use our new dazzles, our new coil corner dazzles, which here is the full sheet. And I pulled off just part of it. just so you could really see those coily corners. So they're right there. So the steps of making the this piece, let's see. Okay, here we go. So it comes in 3 pieces, and all of the dies are inside this wallet. It's called a wallet holder. And let me show you. So you make 1 piece, and this is the second piece, and then this is the this is a crossbar. So the crossbar goes 2 3/4 inches up from the bottom, and it's held in place with extra sticky tape. So it's like that. Now this piece is, all of these I did with the red out of the Christmas cardinals. But I also went back in with the die and I cut the little mushroom, that piece and that piece, just cut it right here. You could certainly trace it and cut it out by hand. I just did it with the die cutting machine just because it was easier. So that's what I did, and glued it over this area. Now this part, excuse me, okay, so this has been taped in place with the extra sticky tape. You put extra sticky tape here, and then you attach this right there. Now, I took the doily and put extra sticky tape here and then placed it. That way I knew where it was going to be. So then when I attached my little Piggy, I knew where she would be, okay? And then my coiled border or corners are right there. The with love comes from the tiny words and phrases. So this is like the Christmas ones, except this is every day. The Christmas is, of course, Christmas. So same idea. Now I did put, and I'm not sure if you can see it, I did put the coil corner right up here too, just as a finishing touch. Now I also put a little bow, I soldered it in place, and this is from the red ribbon set, which is buried under here somewhere, just because I thought that was a nice finishing touch for her. And that's also why I chose the mushrooms, because they had the red in them. So red and pink is kind of what I'm going for. Where would you put your message? Well, you would write it on the back. And this will tuck into our 10 envelopes. So she will fit right in there, and you can mail her. She'll be nice and flat, and then she will pop up when the person receives her. So that will be nice, okay? So let me get these put away so nothing gets, nothing walks away, which is what we want. Okay. Okay, so very easy. And this tuxedo box card is very good whenever you have one image that's a nice significant size that you really want to be the star of the show. And you know, I think in this time you have 64 images that want to be the star of the show. So I just point that out for you. Okay. And I think the doily's a really nice background for all of them. So that works very well. Okay. So that is my story, and that's what I've done with the Holly Jolly. I was actually very pleased because prior to this, with these very, very charming characters, you could only get a few of them. They were already cut out for you, but you only got just a few in a package. And you know, I was glad to see them, but I was sorry to see that there were so few. So this was really nice. You do have to cut them out, but there's a way that you can also use them. You could tear them also. That would give you another idea. So with 64 images and also those backgrounds, that's a nice idea. And we're getting them early in the season, so that will give you lots of time. So that's what we have. Down below, there are photos of each of the cards and instructions, so they're all ready for you, and you've got some ideas for making snow your very own way. Also, if you are watching us on YouTube, we would invite you to subscribe, to like us, and then subscribe. Head on over to Paper Wishes. We have a money saver. It is on the right side of the screen, as always, and we invite you to also tell us what you think. You can scroll down and down and down and down. There's a comment section. Tell us what you think. I love watching those and seeing what you have to say. And I want to thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. We'll be seeing you again. Actually, we'll be seeing you tomorrow. Bye-bye.